I'm sure you've been asked this question before. Have you ever been accused of taking another culture? You've become maybe the most famous Mexican chef in America, and you're a white guy.
Yeah.
Has that ever been something? And your enthusiasm shows through. It doesn't seem to be a problem. But has anybody ever accused you of taking something that wasn't yours?
All the time, yeah. And all I do is just open my arms and I say, come on. I welcome anybody else to do it. In fact, I think it's really strange that with the enormous Mexican population that we have in this country, that there's no one that's stepped forward and done this kind of stuff. Now, one of the things that that you have to kind of understand from a sociological standpoint is that Mexican culture is extremely family-oriented. So if you're going to step forward and become this authority on Mexican food, you really have to kind of become the authority on your family's Mexican food. And so that's what you're going to present to the world, because if you go outside of that and you say, well, I'm going to give you a classic mole poblano recipe, the sort of the hallmark of Mexican cooking. I'm going to give you the classic one. Well, if it's not the recipe that your grandmother made, then your grandmother's going to be really upset with you, and so are your parents, and so is everybody else in the community there. If you say, actually, I like the one in the town next door to us, then suddenly you are a betrayer of your culture. Now, I don't have a Mexican mom. I don't have a Mexican grandmother. So I'm the person that can go out and go, wow, I've tasted it in every one of these towns. And this town over here seems to be doing something really special. And I can tell you why they're doing it really special. So I have been able to sift through a lot of stuff and present what I think are the best cooks in Mexico and what they're doing and what they've taught me. And the interesting thing is that let's go back about 20, 30 years ago. The most well-known cookbook author on Mexican cooking was British. And then came along another one who was British. And then another one, me, who was American. And you find out that that culture is sort of tying people down to just their family recipes, which is not allowing them to kind of sometimes go beyond all of that. So yes, people complain to me constantly about, it's like, why are you doing this? Why isn't somebody from Mexico doing this? And I say I would welcome them to. I would gladly step aside.
You'd go right back to grad school.
I'd go right back to grad school. I'd finish that PhD. No, I probably wouldn't.
Let's talk about Top Chef Masters.
Okay.
Wow.
Is anyone watching? It's different than Top Chef, right? Yeah.
How much does do the
Did
challenge...
you see the previews to next week? You saw where Dale gets in Chiarello's face? Mm-hmm. That shows the difference between the regular Top Chef and the Top Chef Masters. But you notice that Chiarello didn't respond.
Do the challenges, you've been in the restaurant business for so long, do the challenges, the quick fires, do they in any way replicate what you have to do as a real chef at a restaurant?
No.
Okay.
You have to think quickly on your feet, not that quickly. It's a game show. I mean, it's like there are some amazing chefs in this country that would fall flat on their faces in that format because they just can't work that quickly. I think a few back there was Roy Yamaguchi, was from Roy's. There's a Roy's here, and he couldn't play that game. He's used to having a lot more time to think things through and all that sort of thing. And it's a game, and I just happened to like the game.
Yeah.
It was really hard. You have to realize that it was the hardest game I've ever played in my entire life. But I guess I could play the game, so I'm still in the competition.
Yeah. When did you film it? Or am I not supposed to know that?
A little while back.
Tell me what it means how are you able to maintain quality, integrity as you spread out, as you keep doing new things? Let's take, for example, the pizza that you have at grocery stores, which is great. How do you stay up on the quality of that, be on a TV show, make sure that the people in your restaurant are keeping the food at the level you want, experiment with new things, open a new restaurant, come to the Hideout tonight? How do you maintain a brand and maintain your name and integrity?
Well, we haven't tried to do anything fast. I mean, Frontera will be 23 years old this next March, so we've done everything quite slowly. And to tell you the truth, I've only grown as I've had staff to do the next step. And if somebody wants to take our organization in a certain way, then I'll work with them on that. But then they are the owners of that part of it. And so there's so many amazing people that work with us and have worked with us for years and years that take ownership for a certain part of it. And that's what allows us. I'm not the kind of guy that goes, I've got this vision and I want to create this empire or something like that. I would be happy with just Frontera, that what we opened 23 years ago. But then, you know, there was people that wanted to take it to the next level. And so, like, let's work on that project together. And we've done it that way all the way through.
Can I say that your PR person, usually the unsung heroes, Jen, might be the best PR person I've ever dealt with before. Yes. I know, I'm serious. It's incredible. You could email her at 4 a.m. in the morning. 5 minutes later, you'd get an email back.
Yeah, try emailing her at 10 o'clock at night, however. She's already fast asleep.
So when I went to Frontera, and the first thing my wife said was, "What a delicious green bean," as she tasted her green bean. I mean, It was from that to the end. It was delicious. I had a lamb dish, the lamb Thursday special. It's cooked in the banana. Is lamb? I never had seen lamb on a Mexican menu before. Is lamb part of the Mexican cuisine?
Yeah, that's the one thing, is that with all of that kind of Americanized Mexican food, it's been boxed into a corner of what you can have. I was just in Mexico City last weekend on a little retreat that's sort of the top people in the restaurant. We go away once a year, and we were just going markets and restaurants and all that sort of stuff. And if anybody here is on Twitter, you follow me on Twitter, okay? Because it's like I post a lot of really cool stuff. So I posted all last weekend every meal that we had, and now I'm posting videos on there. But I did this little video thing on the amazing wild mushrooms in Mexico City. Now, people don't think about wild mushrooms as part of Mexican cuisine at all. And so I wanted to show everybody that. So I did a little video clip of exactly what was in one of the markets in downtown Mexico City. That lamb is major in Mexico, in the central part of Mexico. But we don't even think about that kind of thing.
No, I was honestly like, oh, this can't be real. It's real, but it can't be. It's something that Rick appropriated.
Right, but it's not. I do appropriate a few things, but that was not one of them. That was actually a dish that I ate it in a restaurant in Mexico City just like that.
Can you go down to Mexico and knock on somebody's door and say, I'd like to try your food? I mean, have you ever done something like that?
Would you?
Well, let me ask you this. Do your friends ever show up at your house around dinner time, like wanting to borrow, the lawnmower or something like that?
No. No, I try to keep them away at the dinner time hour.
Well, they're on the show.
Yeah,
You've got these parties on your show and everything like that. That's just fake.
TV.
It's just for the TV.
It's just for TV. No, I love to have people over, but I usually invite them.
What's it like working so much with your family? It seems that it could be both a dream come true, and at times you want to get away from work and you can't because your family is also part of the work.
It's really all of those things. And like I said, I grew up in a family of restaurant people. Everybody owned their own restaurants, and so all families always worked together. So going into it, I really understood the pitfalls of that. And my wife and I have worked together for these 23 years that we've had the restaurant. But before that, we've written all of our books together. So we did all the research in Mexico together. We did all that. And you have to... what you have to do, and this is something that I think I really learned from my parents, is that you have to delineate everything. This is your responsibility, this is my responsibility, and then you have to respect that. And once you start encroaching on each other's territory, it gets a little weird.
Last question. Any idea of when the restaurant is going to open? Because I'm dying to get there.
Right now, I am saying, okay, you have to take this with a grain of salt. I am saying the last week of August.
Okay.
Okay, so not too far from now.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Rick, for coming by. I
Oh,
really
it's my
appreciate
pleasure.
it. Rick Bayless, everyone.
Thank you.